2 of Lowrys' Barely Famous podcast episode with her son, Elliot, has dropped, and we're going to go over it today. Now, this portion of the podcast, the episode, is more about her son's identity, his how can I say this? The first portion was just more about who he is, why he's decided to use the name Elliot. And, I struggle with if I should even cover this, considering we're talking about a 16-year-old and his, sexual preference and orientation. And I thought that's kind of weird to talk about that. The first part of it, though, it wasn't just about that. It was more about who he is. And it made sense to cover that because I'm like, it's not all about that. When I listen to the second portion of it, it's mainly about that. However, it is about some other things that I felt it's necessary probably to cover this. I mean, I cover Teen Mom, I cover reality TV, I cover almost everything going on with Kail Lowry. The second portion, though, they do talk about, him being outed, how that affected him, how his family members reacted to the news. So I thought, you know what? Considering, he was outed in fifth grade and how that affected him, I was like, you know what? I do still think there's a cause for us to talk about this. It's never okay to out someone. So it's not still just about, well, yes, he is 16 years old. His mom allowed him to do this episode, knowing that people was going to talk about it. And there is this part of me that is just like, he's 16. Like, did he need to do it? But he felt that he needed to do it. He had already been outed once in fifth grade, to his class members, and that's how his parents found out. And then he was outed again with the prom pictures. So now he's just, he's like, I'm going to take over to tell my story myself. With him being 16 years old, it is a little weird. I will say that just because he is young. It's like, I feel like if you want to announce it, if you feel like you need to, because people keep doing it for you, 16 is just, I don't know. It's like I have a 16-year-old and I don't want anybody telling him he needs to tell somebody, who he likes or who he wants to date. I watched 16 and Pregnant the other day, and now he's 16. It's crazy. It's so crazy how quick these children have grown up. But after listening to the episode, it's honestly just so crazy how, I mean, him and his mom are super close. Super close, okay? Keep in mind, we are talking about a 16-year-old, okay? So let's not leave any derogatory comments. Have your opinions about Kail, but let's just try to remember that he is 16. Kail is being too much by the price stuff at his age, not appropriate. I'm like, I guess he felt that he really needed to come out and tell people who he really was because people were already, apparently he couldn't, if he posted a video of like him doing sign language, there would be comments like, oh, people talking about his nails or his body language, that there would be comments. And I guess he just wanted to tell people who he is. Okay, so we're going to get into part 2 of this podcast. I will say, like, say what you want about Kail. I don't think she makes the best decisions and the people that she brings around her kids. And I'm saying that as the new information leak with Javi, where Javi went out to say Kail's already got another man. She's already, like, there's some discussions that she's already moving this new man in. And then the whole situation with the pop guy, that there's some pop guy called Pop that hangs around with the kids. And Javi saying this is not his pop. Like, Lincoln doesn't have a pop. Like, who is she talking about? And then Kail making a post saying, oh, Pop's been around for like 8 years. I just don't talk about him much. And then Chris saying, actually, Pop has not been around for 8 years. He's been around for about 5 years. And he is just the father of a guy that you was messing with. So Chris even coming out to say, like, you have all these people around the kids, just dudes that you mess with, becoming friends with their family members, their dads. And then all of a sudden you got your kids calling their dad Pop when it's just somebody that you were messing around with. So it does seem like, I don't know, like I worry the people, how she just kind of gets so quickly involved with a new guy and moves him in and is having babies. I mean, she did it with Chris. Her and Javi got together and then she's immediately with Chris, having babies with Chris and allowing Elliot and Lincoln to be around Chris. And then her and Chris break up, and it's immediately with Elijah. And it's so I just feel like she's very quick to allow her kids to be around people that, like, that you really know. But at the end of the day, I don't agree with that. I do not agree with how quickly she allows people to be around her kids, and I think it could be dangerous. She works hard for her kids. And by this podcast, you can really tell how close he is with his mom at minimum. I mean, several times he's like, "You're all I need. You're all I need. You're my best friend. You're all I need." And I just thought, wow, they are super close. So we're going to get into listening to the second portion of the podcast. Now, a couple of things I want to say. I have to stop and commentate on it. I have to. I am not allowed to just sit here and play the whole episode all the way through and not commentate. That will be a violation of YouTube's copyright guidelines, and I could get in trouble. I could get a strike against my account. If you want to listen to the episode, it is linked in my description. If you want to listen to it without interruptions, go click the link and go listen to it there. On here, we're going to listen to clips. I'm going to stop and commentate. We're not going to listen to the whole thing. I don't feel like that would be fair, but I do have timestamps of things that I thought were more interesting that we will listen to. Also, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all the announcements that I have. All right, let's jump into it. Thank you, boss lady. I know most of you guys don't mind me commentating, but you guys would be surprised how many times people say, "Will you stop pausing the video and just play it? Like, just play it. Nobody wants to hear your opinions." And I'm like, well, then why didn't you go find the video itself? Just go find the whole video. All right. So the first clip that we're going to listen to is he's asked about the first person that he's told. The lady that's kind of doing the interview, she asked Elliot, "Who was the first person that you told besides your mom?" And Kail is like, "I wasn't even the first person that he told. I knew, but I wasn't the first person that he told." So Elliot's going to go into talking about that. And you guys, mods, if you're here, let me know if the audio is good.
It was actually, I think that in the back of my mind, don't cry. In the back of my mind, it was always thinking about you. It was always, like telling other people is leading up to telling you. Like you were the person that, you were the most important person to tell.
So why? I would have loved you if you never told me.
I know, but
can I say something about this? And you guys are probably going to get in a way how much I am pausing this. But think about it from Elliot's standpoint. He's like, my mom doesn't know the real me. Like that might be how he's thinking about it. All this time he's like, I want to tell my mom who I am, who the real Isaac Elliot is. Like he's probably dying to tell her since he realized it. And she's just like, you didn't have to tell me. I didn't care. But I think I understand what he's saying. Like, no, I just needed you to know who the real me was. Elliot, I drank one this morning, Colby, and I'm trying to cut back on them. I did drink one this morning though, because I've been tired. All right, so I get him saying like he's saying every person that I did tell, it was like leading up to telling you. I was working myself up to tell you because you were the main person that I wanted to tell. And she's like, "Oh, you could have never told me." And I'm like, "No, but he wants you to know who he really is. That's why it always matters so much to tell you, because as his mom, he needed you to know this is who I am. The real me, Yeah, but she knew and he didn't know that she knew.
I don't know, I feel like it's so important to tell you. Like it just felt right to me. And, like I said earlier, like you're the only one I need. So I feel like it's just, it's a confidence thing, like it makes me feel good to be able to tell the one person that I'm so close to,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even as my mom, like, I think it's just very important,
I just didn't. You didn't have to make an announcement. You didn't have to have that conversation.
And I know, but I feel like it just feels right as my mom.
I feel like you were robbed out of coming out, if that's what.
Yeah.
If that was the
Twice.
path that you wanted. Yeah, twice.
Twice.
2 different, when you first confirmed, or shared, and then again now.
Yeah.
Your private life coming out was robbed from you, and then your public coming out was also robbed from you, in my opinion.
Yeah. I The first person I told was an ex-friend of mine, and he did not take it well. I told him, and he went to our whole class and told everyone.
That's so
This was in
sad.
like 5th grade, mind you. So I mean, looking back,
So this is when he was outed in 5th grade. I couldn't even imagine. I don't know what I was thinking in 5th grade. I feel like I was playing with Barbies still. Definitely didn't know who I was in 5th grade. But he told who he thought was his good friend, and that person went and told people. I can't even imagine that.
right now, I'm like, okay, this was kind of, like, I could see this happening, but like from that perspective, from me as a 5th grader, it hurt me because I was like, I built up the courage to tell you something, and you took it and kind of ruined that for me, you know?
Which is hard because obviously now at 15 you understand that like kids don't understand the importance of that. They don't
Right.
understand the courage it took
Yeah.
for you to tell him. He doesn't understand
Yeah.
the fact that he like put you in a really
Oh.
dangerous position. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
understand the capacity of what that meant for you to tell him.
Right.
And so do we give him grace? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
And it sucks, but I mean, like, nobody has that maturity level at that age.
Yeah, at 5th grade, y'all, honestly, you should never, like, if somebody tells you that secret, but in 5th grade, I'm like, would I have even had, like, the maturity level to be like, "Oh, this is a big deal. I don't need to tell nobody this." He confided in me with this information. This is a big deal for him. I don't know, like, in 5th grade, that's probably I mean, he was probably more mature than his friend at that age, and his friend probably thought like, "Oh my god, he's gay, like, let me go tell everybody else," like, just not understanding the severity of what that meant and how it affected Elliot for it to be told to everyone else. Cass, I see your comments. Definitely praying for you guys. I'm glad that everything's good.
right.
So, I mean, for me to realize it at
Right.
that time, it's hard to kind of find the people that understand. Nobody's gonna understand, you know? So, I think that was the hardest part. Um, I mean, I wasn't fully out until 7th grade.
Elliot, are you comfortable sharing a bit about what happened after you found out that what you had shared with your
Okay, so after the friend outed Elliot, obviously he no longer felt like that was his friend, and he decided to write the friend a letter. And this is how Kail and Joe came to know about the situation. Elliot wrote a letter, and apparently, like the substitute teacher was like standing where she could see and saw the letter, and the letter was not anything nice. All right. So he explains right here his reaction and his response to his friend outing him.
Oh, what I told you about the note?
I thought the note was funny.
So I wrote him a little letter, and out of anger, actually, now that since we were talking about speaking on impulse, and my substitute teacher was like reading the note as I was writing it, and
Whoops.
pulled me to the side and was like, "Why are you writing this? Who are you writing this to?" And um so it was like a whole situation. We had to go down to guidance and stuff, and um that's that's how my mom found out.
what were your thoughts like when you found out what had transpired in full with the whole situation? What were your thoughts as his mom and feelings?
Okay, so the guidance counselor obviously it was Joe's like week with Elliot. So when Joe got to the school to pick him up or whatever, the guidance counselor told Joe about the note and what was going on. And Joe called Kail when they were leaving the school and told her what the note said. So I should just let that one play through.
and you were in the back seat, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, your dad sent me a picture of the note, and I laughed. I thought
Yeah.
it was funny. I was like he should suck a dick.
Oh, sorry. There's
I-
bad language in this. Listen, if you're going to listen to anything on Kail Lowrys podcast, just know it probably comes with bad language. I do apologize. But the note that Isaac wrote in 5th grade to this friend was he told him off. I mean, he definitely told him to go do some shocking things.
did tell him that.
He's like, fuck you. And I thought it was funny. I also already knew you were gay. So like, I didn't give a fuck. I was just like,
Yeah.
how dare him? Obviously, I was upset that a kid
Sorry,
did that to you.
guys.
But
Yeah.
obviously now I'm like, well, he was in 5th grade. Like kids don't
Yeah.
understand the weight of what they're
Yeah.
doing.
It's kind of.
I was upset because I didn't know how, like, I wasn't there with you and your dad. And so it was hard
Mhm.
for me. I didn't know what was going on. I would imagine that was probably a time where you felt sort of lost and didn't
Yeah.
really know where to go because
I mean, I can kind of imagine that. I remember whenever telling my mom that I was sexually active, and she waited till I was with my dad to call and let my dad know, and that was so embarrassing, for me to be at my dad's house and for her to call and be like, "So, just letting you know, your daughter told me that she's." "Really, mom?" Like, I didn't even know that was gonna happen. So I can kinda understand that. You're in the vehicle with one of your parents, and they call your other parent to be like, "Oh, listen, our child just." And that's what happened. He sends a picture of the note. The guidance counselor gives Joe the note. He sends a picture of it to Kail, and, Isaac, who has just been outed to all of his 5th grade classmates, is telling his former friend, "How about you go suck a Rick, F you." And Kail, she's like, "I thought it was funny, but I felt bad." But I just feel like if it would have been me, I would have been like, "Let me meet you guys somewhere. Can I come over? Like, this is a big thing. I need to come talk to you guys. Can I please come over to the house? This is a big deal." And she said, "I can't, I'm sure you felt all alone in this. I'm sure you felt alone." And he said yes. So I don't know. I just feel like if maybe Kail would have been like, "Hey, Joe, this is kind of a big deal. Can I come to y'all's house so we can just kind of sit down and make sure he knows that we love him?"
you didn't know, am I getting in trouble for the note? Am
Yeah.
Am
That's
I gay?
exactly
Am
how
I
I
not
felt.
gay? Do I
Yeah.
have the support of my dad? And now my dad has to tell my mom. Is my mom going to react the same way? So, like, it was probably a very confusing, emotionally charged time.
And
And
it was.
so I was upset because I couldn't be there with you. I think you were looking for validation and to know that everything was going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily feel like you got that.
I didn't. But it wasn't your fault. Obviously, it wasn't your fault. But I think another thing that sucked was the anxiety of it. It happened like literally the last week of school. It was a Thursday. And like I didn't know what to expect from the next year. And I was just so terrified to see what that looked like.
And he does go on to say that his 6th grade year, he had a really difficult time with knowing who to hang out with, knowing who he fit in with, because he still didn't really know who he was. So I'm sure he probably felt like, okay, now that everybody knows, is the guys going to accept me? Should I hang out with the girls? Are they going to accept me? Would that be weird? And Valerie, what Isaac said was when the pictures were posted, when Team On fan pages and everything leaked the photos and refused to take them down, in a moment of frustration and feeling like, these people took something from me, he felt like he should make a post on Instagram, which he would have made money off his Instagram anyways. If he would have made a post on his Instagram, it would have been viewed a million times. His Instagram's monetized, so he still would have made money off of it. But Kail and some of his other friends just said, "Not right now. Like, why don't you calm down? And because if you do something just on emotion, you may regret it. So why don't you just have time to think about it?" I don't know how they ultimately came to the decision to do it on the podcast. I don't know if that was him or her, But she did say nothing made from the podcast was going to her. It was going to go to him. So either way, he would have made the money off of it. He would have either, he's going to make the money off the podcast, or he would have made it off posting it on his Instagram. He's probably making more because he is on Kail's podcast. But yeah, I know a lot of people's like, wow, how dare you put your kid on here to, so at least he's getting the money from it. Right? All right. So yeah, his 6th grade year, he said he did not know where he fit in. So that was the toughest year, coming off being outed and not feeling, like he belonged in any specific group. Okay, we're gonna jump to he also says that his confidence has grown since 6th grade. That now he feels confident in who he is. He knows what group of friends he wants to be a part of. He no longer feels like, where do I belong? In 7th, 8th grade, it's not like he doesn't know which group he feels. Yes, he did. That was on the podcast. They talked about that on the podcast. So, because I have part 1 up already. We went over part 1 where he talks about that, where he says when the pictures were posted, I text my mom, very upset, and he told her, I'm going to make a post on Instagram. And he was very emotional, though. He was not okay. He was mad. He was mad. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to make a post on Instagram, and I'm going to tell people like they shouldn't have did this. And Kail and I think the Natalie girl was like, why don't you calm down, figure out what you really want to do, doing something on emotion. Like, we don't think that's the right decision. Just think it over. And he was like, no, I'm going to post something now. And they're like, we think you'll regret it. Just take some time to think about it. And he did say on the podcast that he is glad that he did not make that post because it was emotionally charged. And he possibly, usually when we respond on emotions, I normally always regret it. I normally always regret when I'm reading through my comments and I see a comment of someone being mean to me and I respond. When somebody comes in here being nasty, if I respond, I normally always regret it. And I'm normally always like, I could have just ignored that because they're really not worth my time. So I really do feel like if he would have responded immediately on his Instagram, he probably would have regretted it. Now, if he would have waited a couple of days, calmed down, and really thought about how he wanted to or what he wanted to say, post it wherever he wanted to post it. Podcast, IG, wherever, All right, so the next part we're gonna flip to is they ask him, how did he know that his mom, or because Kail has said she knew he was gay. She's like, yeah, I knew it. So they ask him, what was it like knowing that she always knew? And they ask Kail, did you ever need him to come out to you? Which we already know she said no. So. All right. So yeah. Oops, back that up a little bit. So they ask him, what was it like finding out your mom already knew? And they asked Kail, did you ever need him to come out to you?
I mean, she's known since before I met you and you were 2.
I don't know. I was like, you know what? That makes sense. Like, of course you knew.
Yeah.
But I think that like leading up to that point, you made me feel so comfortable around you. Like, I could have told you at any point,
You didn't have to tell me at all if you didn't want to.
That too.
You
but
literally did not have to tell. Like, I didn't need an announcement, didn't need confirmation. As long as you telling me made you feel better, like if it
Yeah.
was for you, that's fine. But like, I never needed you to make a statement, make an announcement. I never needed that. I just
Yeah.
want to always have like a safe space for you at home, and I want your brothers to always be accepting of it, and I want there to always just be a safe space. That's really what was important to me, because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, I'm never going to sever my relationship with you or create any sort of friction in our relationship because of who you love, because that's
Mhm.
at the end, it's not, whether it was a man or a woman, it's not my business.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
not a choice either.
it's not a choice, it's not my business. And when you move out of the house and you live with whoever you're going to live with, and you are raising, you know, I don't want to say family, because if you choose to be childless, that's also fine. But like, you have a family with, you know, your partner, whether it's a man or a woman, at the end of the day, that does not affect me. And as long as you're happy, like, I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't. So
My only child will be a cat.
if you want to clean litter boxes for the rest of your life,
Well,
I mean, it's worth it. It'll be worth it.
okay.
Elliot, for
think
you,
about
I know that you
so as of now, he says he just wants to have cats, which I guess, maybe he'll change his mind later on in life, maybe not. Okay, so he's also said that he does not like when people say, "Oh, we already knew that. We already knew he was gay." But his mom says it. Kail says it. She's like, "Oh, he didn't have to tell me. I knew." So they ask him, like, "Well, why are you okay with your mom saying that, but not other people? You're okay with your mom saying she knew, but you have a problem with other people." And so he kind of explains what he means with that. What just happened? Hold on, guys. Let me try to log back into that. Did I somehow log out? Please don't ask for my password because I don't know it. How does this happen? I've listened on here. Did I click something? Because I've literally.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over
All right, let's jump back to that one. Does it only let you listen to, like, I don't know, a little bit of them, and then you have to sign in or something? All right, here we go. Back at it, guys.
Different because of the way it's the tone and how they say it. Like with my mom, it's more accepting, more comfortable. It's a peaceful environment.
Mhm.
And she says, or she would say, like I knew, like
Like, it's okay. Like, I
yeah,
already knew.
yeah, exactly. But like people on the internet, they're like, oh, this is old news. I already knew this. Like,
Oh,
on with
the
it.
closet was glass.
Yeah, like
Like,
things
it's
like
more like
that. It's
condescending.
nasty, kind of. Yeah, yeah. Like it's more.
It's not what you say, it's, I guess, how you say it.
Yeah, I agree.
and also it sounds like also just the relationship with you
Mhm.
with the person who might say it.
Yeah.
Was there anyone in your life that you told that was surprised, that was like shocked?
The only person I can think of that like reacted a little like shocked, like, oh, this is like new, like I may have, or it was probably my titi. She took it like,
Does anyone know who that is? Because later he talks about his grandma. So who is his? Maybe I don't know who that is. I don't know who he's. And they never ask him. Okay, explain who that is to the listeners. Later he talks about his grandma, which I would assume is Joe's mom, but I don't know who his titi is. I don't know.
well, obviously, like she made me feel good about it, like you did. And I feel very comfortable around her and stuff. But yeah, I think she was a little surprised because, like, we don't see each other as often, so it's hard to like catch
Oh, that's another way of saying aunt in Spanish. Okay, thank you, Sapphire. Had no idea. Huh, that's interesting.
up. So I think that the time that I told her was shocking, like it was just the time that I told her,
Okay,
rather
fair.
than like maybe if I told her in person and had like a better conversation about it.
Mhm.
I think that the way I told her was just it might have been shocking.
Okay, so I guess maybe that would be his aunt. I don't know which aunt. V's sister. Does Joe have a sister? Um, Now he's going to talk about how his grandmother reacted, and I'm going to assume this would be Joe's mom. So let's hop on over to that.
What about your
Mhm.
grandma?
My grandma was now I love my grandma to death, you know, but
We know.
I know. Yeah, yeah. I love her to death, but I
I mean,
didn't
death.
death.
Death. You love her to death.
I keep saying death.
I know.
Ugh. Because I used to get those confused. Like when used to say deaf, I would say death.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
before I even knew what all that was about, you know?
Okay, so you were saying you love your grandma to death.
Yeah, I love my grandma to death.
No.
But death. I love her to death.
So funny.
But I didn't love how she kind of brought religion into it. Like she kind of was like, I didn't love how she kind of brought religion into it. It was just very odd to me because before she started talking about that, she asked me about my like beliefs, and then and I told her that like I don't really believe, I'm not really spiritual, and she started to bring God into the situation, and I just thought it wasn't necessary and it wasn't related. And she also kind of mentioned like I shouldn't go and tell people that I'm gay because I don't know who I am yet. Like she
Okay,
said
so
it very subtly. Like it wasn't direct, but that's what she said. That's like what she was saying.
did you have to create like a new relationship with her then? Like once she had the knowledge, or like once you sort of came out to her, like now you had to rebuild a new relationship with her?
Like kind of, I think it was just kind of a setback again. Like I could tell her like I won't talk to her really about that. Or well, at the time I wouldn't, but I mean, now I think that you know, since I've gotten older and like like I'm still gay. Like she
Still gay.
she trusts
Stay
now.
gay.
Slay.
I think she
Slay.
I think she realizes now that like I am who I am and that's not going to change. So I think it's like it's okay now. Like
Yeah.
she won't do that anymore. But
Good.
I think at the time it was just hard for her to like she didn't know how to approach it, you know?
She's
Like she
also
didn't
from a different generation.
Exactly.
She's
Yeah.
she's from a generation older than me. And
Mhm.
so at that time, and I'm not justifying it or excusing it. I told you my feelings when you originally told me that, but she does come from a different generation, even above
Mhm.
me.
TJ, I agree with you on this. It is weird. And, you know, even sitting here listening to this, I'm like going back on my Facebook page and seeing where I posted the thumbnail. I'm like, man, this is just so weird to like listen to a 16-year-old talk about his sexual preference. Because my 16-year-old, I don't know. Like, I mean, which we have talks. I mean, we have talks about things. He's got a girlfriend, but I would never want him to publicly feel like he's got to talk about anything related to that. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I made the decision to cover it because I covered part one that wasn't just about his sexuality. It was about, other things too, and changing his name and why he made to do it. And the reason I decided to go ahead and cover this part of it was because he did talk about being outed and how that made him feel, and telling his parents, which is a real thing. I mean, this is what people go through. They go through being outed. They go through having to tell their parents. And so I decided to go ahead but it is just it feels just wrong for him to even need to talk about it. Right? What do you guys think? I don't know. Do you guys feel like it's weird to like sit here and listen to a 16-year-old talk about, I don't know. Like there's this part of me that I just feel like, Elliot, because you are a public person and you are a nepo baby and your mom is famous and she has all these platforms, I'm sure I know he gets that all the time. And he probably wants to share with the world who, like, hey, this is who I am. This is who, he's like, this is who I am, you know? Um, so I can understand why he feels the need to share that with his mom and maybe even to the rest of the world. But I don't know. It's just, it is strange. And listening to him talk about, like, oh, when I told my grandmother, and I don't know. Well, they claimed they had this episode planned before he was outed. If you go back and you listen to episode 1 of the podcast that was released last week, he says that they had already planned this. They had already planned that he was going to come out on the podcast during Pride Week. And then it was leaked. So he was like, you know what? I'm just going to make a post on Instagram. I'm going to talk about it on Instagram. I'm going to tell people that they shouldn't have did this. And, Kail and her friend was like, no, 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 no. You're acting on emotion. Don't do that. But if you go back and you listen to part 1, he says he already had made his mind up that they were already going to do this on the podcast during Pride Week. Who knows? I mean, I wouldn't want to think that he's lying about that for whatever reason he would feel the need to. Yeah. Thank you, Valerie. Errol, you've covered teen mom things. You're totally justified. It's these weirdos that sit here and want to talk about how they knew he was gay or that he was gay. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I do love that he seems to have this really close relationship to his mom. At the end of this, or at the end of what we're going to listen to, he, like, they get very emotional, and he's like, "You're all I need." He's like, "I don't know what I'm going to do when you pass away. I'm going to text you and be like, Mom, I went skydiving today." Like, they are very, B makes a sense. Like, yeah, maybe if his parents spoke about, or maybe if his grandparents would have talked to their kids too about it. Because, yeah, like, I mean, I talked to, I got a 20-year-old and I said 16, he's 17, he's actually about to be 18. Like, I've talked to them in private. My husband talks mainly to my son. I feel more comfortable talking to my daughter. But my husband has talked more to my son about this kind of stuff. But I would just never want my kids to feel like they got to talk publicly about anything like this. They're kids, be kids, you know. But he's dealing with something that straight people don't deal with. Someone that's 16 that knows, like my son, I don't know why I keep saying he's 16. I swear I know my kid's age. Like my son that's 17, he has a girlfriend. He knows he likes girls. So they don't have to deal with being outed and the public shame that may come from that, and having to worry about telling their parents or telling their grandparents and all of that. So I don't know, I guess there is an avenue of like saying, this is what they have to go through. So people, if someone tells you, don't go out them, let them do things on their own terms. So I guess there is like an avenue to cover this from a different way than, oh, we're just talking about a 16-year-old sexuality. I don't know. Just, it does still feel a little weird. I don't know. Yeah, B, maybe he's helping others who are struggling. Yeah, absolutely.
So like millennials are deconstructing all of this, and
Yeah.
It might have taken her time to come to terms with it, unfortunately. But your relationship now is great, and you love your grandmother to death.
Yeah.
Not to death.
Not to death. But I think like leading up to the point where she could come to terms with it, it was very awkward. Like she would try to like talk about it a little bit. But it was very awkward considering like the conversation that we had. And like it would always be her that would bring it up first, I think it was her way of trying to make me feel comfortable around her with it, but it's not her fault it didn't work.
Right.
But I mean, I think it just needed time.
Okay.
Lastly, Elliot, I know you really wanted to talk about how much your mom's support has meant to you and how it's been to have her to help you navigate this, and how grateful you are. So I would love to give you the floor to tell your mom how you feel.
I talked about this on the phone with her, and I can already see your tears. Don't cry, please. I talked to her on the phone, and Kristen was like, "Oh yeah, she's gonna cry about this. Like, this was gonna be emotional for you." I just want you to know, and I don't want you to ever doubt that as much as you love me unconditionally, I love you unconditionally, and you have been my guiding star. You've been my guiding star through this whole thing, throughout my whole life, even, and I am forever grateful for you, and I can't see another world without you.
You still have to push me down the stairs.
I can't.
I don't know what she means. She says, you still have to push me down the stairs. I don't know what she's talking about, but.
I can't. No, I can't.
You TV girl. Thank you.
I can't do it. I just love you too much, and I can't. I don't know what I'm gonna do for half of my life without you. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna be lost. I'm gonna text you when you're dead. I'm gonna text you all the time, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, Mom, I just went skydiving, and it was so scary, but I loved it."
You'll text me when you shit your pants for the first time.
And I'm gonna be like, "Oh, it's like Cheddar's, like you did that one time." And
you don't have to thank me, and you don't have to tell me any of this. Like, you don't owe me any fucking thing. You literally don't owe me anything. I love you unconditionally because that is my job, and that is, you are my child. And when you become a parent, you love your child unconditionally.
Yeah.
So,
and I agree, but I feel like you take that extra step to make me feel even more welcome and even more unconditionally loved and more comfortable. And I just, like, you just have helped me grow in so many ways and realize so many things. You just make me feel better about myself and about who I am, you know? Like, you just make me feel good at the end of the day. Like, even if we were to fight or bicker about something, like, you, at the end of the day, I think, like, you know what? This is my mom, and
do we fight?
I mean, we don't, but, like,
I don't know
Not
the last time we
really.
got in a fight. Do we ever fight?
No, actually. But, like, I feel like if we were to fight, like, I would think, like,
Aaron.
this doesn't affect me. Like, we still have such a close bond that nothing can get in the way with that. And
Okay, yeah, a lot of people, and I guess it's because, you know, in the episode where he comes out to say, I want to go by Elliot now, he's also saying, oh, and I'm gay. People are putting those two things together, like, oh, he's coming out, so he's changing his name. It's not. He has been going by Elliot with, like, his mom and his siblings and his friends and their friends for a minute now, and it has nothing to do with him coming out. It's his middle name, and he just likes it better. He said he did not feel like Isaac fit him, but that Elliot did, and it's just he just prefers Elliot. So it has nothing to do with him coming out. It just, I think everybody's attributing it to him coming out because, I mean, sometimes people do that. Sometimes when people transition, you know, that, well, I think most of the time when people transition, they change their name. And I don't know if when you come out as gay, if you change your name, maybe some people do, but I think people are just attributing to it because it's being announced to us at the same time that him coming out is being announced to us. So everybody thinks that that has something to do with it, but I don't think that it does. Or on part one, he said that it doesn't. It's just that he just likes the name.
And, like, you've shown me in so many ways that I have your support no matter what, and you have
Always.
mine, you know?
Always. Ride or fucking die.
Ride or fucking die.
You just got.
Kail said ride or effing die, and he said ride or effing die.
They asked for it. They asked for it. And it just slipped out.
I am so thankful to both of you for allowing me to be part of this and interview both of you. I'm so proud of you, Elliot. And I hope this is everything that you want it to be.
It is.
So yeah, you can tell they have a super strong bond, which I think kids should feel comfortable talking to their parents. When you don't feel comfortable talking to your parents, I mean, that's when you end up getting in trouble. Because as 16, 17-year-olds, you do not have the best ideas with, oh, let me go do this. But if you feel comfortable enough to talk to your mom, you're like, hey, mom, I want to go do this. And mom can be like, actually, you don't need to do that, you know? So it's great that he has a super close relationship with his mom. Is it too close? I don't know. I think somebody in the comment section was like, oh, like this is too much. Like I think that like they're dependent on each other. I don't know. It's just I did notice that he was like, "You're all I ever need. You're all I ever need." And I'm like, "Where does Joe stand in this?" If I was Joe, I would be like, "Hold up. Wait a minute. Dad over here, where do I fit in this? What am I? Chopped liver?" Yeah, which I don't know. He did say he doesn't want people to speculate about how his dad, you know, how his dad feels about it, and they never really said how his dad took it. It was kind of insinuated that maybe his dad did not take it as well as his mom took it. Um, but he did say he didn't want people like speculating how his dad feels about it. So, but if I was his dad, I would definitely be curious. Like, dude, I might call him like, I heard you on the podcast. I'm so proud of you. What am I, chopped liver, son? Thanks. You know, maybe even as a joke. But yeah, I hope his dad is at least okay. You know, I've seen pictures. Like I went to, he's still got pictures up with his dad. I think he still goes to their house. So I think he still has a close relationship with his dad. What is this? What is this?
We're both sick of you.
Get up. It's time to do pride shit.
Wait, let me tell you something about Kail Lowry right here. She will trust anyone with her freaking car. Like, if one of y'all come up to her and you're like, yo, can I use your keys? Can I get your keys? She'll be like, yeah. And she'll have no care in the world.
I do be letting people drive my car.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you.
Sounds like he got more sense than she does.
That was gay.
I literally didn't wear makeup in case I cry. Forgot my wallet. How are we feeling?
Good.
You feel nervous?
No.
Relief? Excitement?
Yes. Really excited.
Is there anything you want to say before we start?
Happy Pride Month. Only lesbian people would do that.
It's lesbian shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweat. Turn around.
Hey.
Let me see your shirt. It's lesbian shit. Let me see your shirt.
Hey.
We're twinning.
Smile. Happy Pride.
What are those girls back there like Megan Fox?
See you.
She has another one.
See you in hell.
Who was the other one? Not the.
Yeah. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Elliot's first Pride.
Yeah. Happy Pride.
Can I just say I'm so shocked that Isaac attended a Pride event and nobody like snapped pictures? And nobody snapped pictures and like leaked them and was like, look, Kail has, you know what I'm saying? Like even when Leah went to a Pride event and brought her kids, I think there was pictures that people like posted about it.
Tracy, Jessica.
Look at Megan Fox right there. What is she doing hanging out with Kail? What in the what? That's not Megan Fox, but it definitely looks like her.
Girls, happy Pride. Wait. Happy Pride. What'd you say, Beck?
So many gay people.
Really?
I love it.
I didn't notice. Do I know you?
A bunch of lesbians out in the wild.
We're doing a bunch of lesbian shit.
Be who you are in your pride.
Woo! Cheers to that. Spotted in the wild. A lesbian.
I mean, look, we're not.
Rarity.
I was like,
Rarity.
we're in our habitat here, you know?
on the outside.
I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't have hot dogs at a Pride event. If you know what I'm just kidding. Bad joke. Bad joke.
Am I embarrassing you?
Yeah.
Go gays.
I want to give me some of those shoes that Kail has on. I'll take those.
Are you on the phone?
Yeah, I'm talking to my dad.
Happy Pride Month.
This is your first Pride event in New Jersey. Smile.
I'm sick of you.
What?
I'm sick of her too. I'm sick of you too. We're both sick of you.
Get up. It's time to do Pride.
I think they must have that looks like a B&B. That doesn't look like Kail's house, in my opinion. But yeah, so that was just posted to her page 1 hour ago. So that's part 2, you guys. I've questioned whether or not it made sense for me to even cover this, and I can see, a part of awareness of if somebody comes to you and says this, do not run with it. You don't know where they're at in their journey with wanting it out there. And yeah, so forgive me because I don't follow Kail closely. I knew about Becky on the podcast, but is Becky and Kail a couple now? No, Becky is married. Becky has a wife that is pregnant with their first child. And Becky's wife is carrying the child, but it is Becky's egg. But yeah, you guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about part 2? If you want to listen to the full podcast on your own without the interruptions of me, Elle Bee, the link is in the description box below. KR says, I'm surprised he didn't mention B. She seems very accepting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would definitely think that B would be, right? KP, I was trying to read, was it KP or KR? Comments earlier, and someone mentioned something about supporting bots, and I'm like, what is that? I wanted to, was that you, KR, or was it KP? We do have a KP. Somebody said something about supporting bots, but I love you anyway, or something. And I'm like, what does that mean? Was that you? Also, Cass, how did everything go today? I'm going to cut this video off in just a little bit because that's what we're going to listen to, and I don't want the replay to be super long, but I did want to just check in with what that meant about supporting bots, and I wanted to check in with Cass to see how the check-in went. I don't know if there's going to be a part 3. I don't think so. Thank you, Emma. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Y'all, I posted, so Sophia and Farah went on a vacation, and Sophia posted photos of the vacation on her page. So I always share stuff like this to my page. Hey, Easton, I always share stuff like this to my page, right, on my Facebook page. So I take screenshots of her little vacation. I post them on my page. And there was one photo that I took it as Sophia was showing off her heels. And then I see a comment pop up that's like, why are you posting pictures of minors' butts? And I'm like, where did I post a picture of her butt? So I went to the page and I see, oh, there's a picture of her sitting on a little canoe thing, throwing the peace sign up, and it's from the backside. So I guess they thought that I was focusing on her butt. I went to click on the page to just look at all of the pictures, and then I noticed, wait, there's another one that the cutoff is right above her waist. And I guess some people thought that it was her butt. I'll show you guys, because literally a couple of people was like, you have daughters and you're posting this. And I'm like, you're the weirdos that thought it was of her butt. I thought she was showing off her shoes. What? I contemplated taking the picture down, but then I was like, it's not of her butt, I don't think. I mean, Sophia already dresses in a way that I think is a little too much for her age, because I mean, look at this, look at these photos. These are the ones that she shared. I keep up with this stuff. So I thought they were talking about this one initially. I thought they were saying that was the picture of her butt that I was posting, but I went through them And it was this one. But yeah, when I saw this, I literally just thought like, oh, she's showing off like a picture of like the bottom of her dress, how it hangs down, and these like cute little shoes. They look like red bottoms. I mean, they got a red bottom. So I really just thought she was posting a picture of her shoes. And then literally two people was like, wow, how weird of you to post a picture of a miner's butt. And I'm like, that is not what I saw from that. Not at all. Weird picture to post. And I explained, I thought she was showing off her shoes. I never looked at this photo and thought, oh, wow, she's showing off her butt. I mean, I did look at this one and think, well, that's a little much, you know? But she is out on the water. I mean, people wear bikinis out there, so whatever. But she does dress like this out and about everywhere sometimes. So, yeah. I just didn't see it as that. So people are weird. You triple check before you post anything. Thank you. I definitely try to. And I would never, if it was a picture just like zoomed in on her bottom and that's what it was, I would not have posted it. I do have kids. But anyways, you guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you guys think about part 2? Elliot is still a male name. Yes, it is, because he's just going by his middle name. Obviously not. Where is she? I don't see a single picture of her now. What are you talking about, Valerie? I don't know. Like this video on your way out. Go follow me on my other social media platforms if you guys don't mind. I will be going live again in just a little bit because the person that's behind the leaks of the messages with Tyler Baltiera, however you want to say it, the person behind the leaks made another post explaining how they ended up getting in contact with Caitlin and Tyler, how that started. And they say Kate and Ty knew good and well they were talking to a minor because Tyler has said, no, we never thought we were talking to minors. We thought the whole time it was adults. Like we never really thought that it was a minor. They were telling us information that we thought we had to play this game and act like we believed them to find out if they were who they really said that they were. So more information has been leaked. We're going to go over that in a little bit. So just keep your eye out on this channel. I will be going live in probably an hour. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Like, share, subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. Bye, guys.